Hi everyone, welcome to ReeKay Sports Darts. Today we're going to be previewing the World Grand Prix, which gets underway tomorrow in the ReeKay Arena in Coventry. Really looking forward to this one. Unfortunately, they'll be played without any crowd, behind closed doors, and not in its usual location in Dublin, Ireland. So that's unfortunate due to this coronavirus situation. We have, however, been lucky enough to see crowd at the last couple of events. So that was starting with the World Series Finals in Austria. We had crowds there. And also in the German Masters last week there was crowds there too. But unfortunately for this one there will be no crowds. So let's go to previewing the players now. And we start with the defending champion, the world #1, Michael Van Gerwen. He's not had the greatest of seasons so far. Rather poor by his standards. He has won a few tournaments, won a couple of Summer Series titles and the Autumn title recently. But in general been really poor. We saw in the World Match Play he got destroyed by Simon Whitlock, which is really rare to see that happen to Michael. And he followed that up in the Premier League with some really off-key performances as well. Not his usual self. Didn't qualify for the finals of the Premier League for the first time. That was a big shock, and he is not anywhere near the level you'd expect to see him at. But still is the world #1. He's capable of beating anyone, putting in breathtaking performances, so he has to go in as a favourite. Behind him we've got the world #2, Peter Wright, the current world champion. Amazing that he's the world champion, and he's had a good season. You could say he started by winning the Masters, and recent times done well in the Premier League as well. He's got to the finals, and he's there, done well in the World Series, got to the semi-finals, lost to Gerwyn Price. But I'd expect him to have a good tournament. He's got to the final before in this tournament, so the doubling start, he's great with his doubles, so definitely he's going to be a danger to all. Then going on to the world #3, Gerwyn Price. As we said, he was the one that beat Peter Wright in the World Series semi-finals, and he went on to win the tournament. He also, before that, won the last couple of Autumn Series events as well, so he's in hot form. Even last week in the German Masters, took a great performance from Devin Peterson to beat him. Gerwyn was 5-1 up, but ended up losing that, so he is the man to beat at the moment. Definitely the player in the best form. Not had so much success down in this tournament, the World Grand Prix, the double-in start, hasn't had much success in it, but if he's in this kind of form that he's been in recently, I expect him to have a great tournament too. Then looking next at Glenn Durrant. Amazing, this guy's done so well, coming over from the BDO in the PDC last season, got to a couple of semi-finals, proving what a great player he is. We know he's a world champion from the BDO, and has had a great Premier League, topped the table there, into the finals, done well in the majors as well, the match play, got to the semis there, and definitely on fire. He's got this added advantage as well, that playing in the Northern Leagues, they play a lot of tournaments with a double start formula, so that does help him, growing up playing in them leagues. So expect him to go really well this week as well. Then after that, you've got the likes of Gary Anderson, great player. We know how good Gary Anderson is. Had a few injuries in recent years, back problems, held him back a bit. He's not been at his best last couple of seasons, but he did get to the World Match Play finals, as we saw. And in the Premier League, he's been going really well. He's got through to the final 4 for that as well. So he's in good form. Doubling's good recently. He's really worked well with that. It was his Achilles heel back in the day, but much stronger with that now. I expect him to have a good tournament too. Then looking at the previous major winner for this season, the match play, Dimitri Van der Berg, done amazing to win that tournament. It was his maiden win, and he again got a good chance in this tournament. Confidence will be high after winning there. That was behind closed doors too, so he's adjusted well to that whole closed doors thing, and definitely got a chance to do well. Then let's look at last week's winner, the maiden winner, Devin Peterson. Done great to win that tournament. He's one of the outsiders, but he's got that maiden win now, so his confidence will be high. Played really well in that tournament, like I say, beat Gerwyn Price being 5-1 down, and had many ton-plus averages, so his confidence is going to be sky high too. So looking there, we've got a really strong field. There's the likes of Nathan Aspinall, great player as well, in good form, through to the Premier League finals as well. So many great players are in good form at the moment, and we're going to see a very competitive field and great matches, and get into my predictions for who's going to make it through in each quarter. So if we start off with Michael Gerwen in the top quarter, he's got a tough one. He's got very hard first round match against Wojcicki. That will not be easy at all. Playing well is Wojcicki in recent times, and he's going to push him really hard. Devin Peterson's also in there. There's James Wade. So that's a tricky quarter, but I reckon Michael will come through it. He's won this tournament twice. He does like the doubling start. So let's go for Michael in the top half to come through, win the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, that's where we got Gary Anderson, Michael Smith, Rob Cross, Mansur Sulovic, some great players, Dimitri van der Berg's in there too. That is a very competitive quarter. For that one, I'm going to go for Gary. I think he's going to get through there. So moving on to the third quarter now, we've got Peter Wright, as I was saying, the reigning world champion. In there with him is Glenn Doran. Again, guys in great form, so that is a really hard one to call. There's some other great players like Daryl Gurney, Ian Wright in there too, Dave Chisnell. So hard one to call, but I'm going to go with Peter Wright. I think his doubling is his strongest suit, and I think he should come through that quarter. Then moving on to the fourth and final quarter, again, very competitive. We've got Gerwyn Price, the man on fire, the guy to beat, I'd say, going into this tournament. He's got Nathan Aspinall, the likes of Stephen Bunting in there too. I'd say it's between Price and Aspinall, and I'm going to go for Price to come through that. So that will give us a semi-final lineup of Michael Van Gerwen versus Gary Anderson and Peter Wright versus Gerwyn Price. That would be some tasty semi-final lineup. Would really look forward to seeing that. On to my predictions, who will come through between Michael Van Gerwen and Gary Anderson. I think it'll be close. If Van Gerwen was at his best, I would just go for him. But the way he's been this season, he's not been at his best. Gary will be well up for it. This is a tournament Gary hasn't won as well, so I'm sure it's one of the ones he wants to win before he goes on to retire. So yeah, I'm going to go for Gary to come through that semi-final. In the other semi-final, Peter Wright versus Gerwyn Price. Both players in great form, but Gerwyn Price in that slightly better form at the moment. So I would give it edge to him, and I'm going to go for him to beat Peter Wright. And the final of Gary Anderson v Gerwyn Price. Now, we've been here before. These two have had their clashes. We saw what happened in the Grand Slam a few years back, you know, clash on the stage. They have this, we could say, little bit of beef there, but I think it's just respect, really. They both respect each other. They know how great a player each one is, and it will be a tasty affair. They produce great matches. As I say, in recent times, Gerwyn Price has had the upper hand, but I expect Gary to be there in there fighting. So that's a close one to call, but I'm going to go for Gary to beat Gerwyn Price and to win the World Series of Darts. For more content, keep it here, and please remember to subscribe, like and share. Thank you. Bye.